Guys, this is the fifth time I've made this video this morning. I'm having a tough time. My leg, I woke up and my knee was hurting Monday. And I went out there and I shot the spoof for the Cam's Night Out commercial. If you hadn't seen it, I'll put it right here. But I shot the spoof to the Cam's Night Out commercial. And if you look at it, I was in sheer pain during when I was shooting that. But it's just gotten progressively worse, and it's worked all the way up to my leg, and I'm just in pain, man. I'm just going to sit here and chill and play my Madden all day long and just hope this thing go away. But some real issues here. Lizzie Freak, if anybody knows Lizzie Freak from YouTube, he had a stroke recently. And I did get to talk to him after we drafted Claiborne, and he's in great spirits. His one side of the body is still paralyzed, but it's coming back slowly, so he's going to need your prayer. So everybody give Lizzie a prayer and give him a shout out on his page. He'll appreciate that. On to the draft. I had to make a video right after that happened because I can't repeat how I was feeling when we drafted Claiborne. I mean, it was a utter shock to me because I didn't even think that we were going corner. If you remember my video, I said I think we should go corner in this draft just because Jenkins being a free agent and we need a pure number one corner to offset Carr, and Jerry got it. I can't believe it. I was so proud, so happy at that moment, and I wanted to give Jerry his kudos for making that bold move and going up and get it, because that one player is the one player in the draft that I think helps our team the most. He's the sure deal. He doesn't have the issues like Dre and Janoris them. He's a solid corner guy. He's a man cover guy and that will press. So he's everything to allow us to do what we want to do. Now I warn you. Now this doesn't make us Super Bowl material right off the bat. There's a team over there in New York Football Jets that runs the same defense as we do. And they couldn't get pressure in their front seven. So they left those guys on islands, and it didn't work as well as it should have. You remember the game with the Cowboys. Dez was eating both of them alive because they couldn't get to Tony Romo. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a done deal. We still have to work. We still got a lot of work we got to do with those down seven and a lot of holes right there. But the thing about this Claiborne pick, we ain't going nowhere NFC East. I know you got a lot of quarterbacks. I know you got a lot of exciting stuff going on, but we got two solid corners. That means we're not going anywhere. We're going to be in the fight. Thank you, Jerry. All right, now I'm going to go through my top five draft classes really quickly. Number one, Baltimore. Well, they're not in any particular order. They're just five. Baltimore, they got Courtney Upshaw and a big offensive lineman that could start also in the second round with no first round pick. Very, very, very good job to Baltimore. Another team, Pittsburgh, who really knows how to work the draft. They kept their spot at 24, and DeCastro fell to them. They needed a guard, and DeCastro fell to them. And then they got Mike Adams, who is a first-round prospect. He just, had a little, that, and he fell in the draft. But Pittsburgh, going to Pittsburgh Steelers, they will make sure a player like that, buys into the company and not line. If you just leave it at that. Sean Spence, another linebacker to go with their linebacking core. And then they got my guy, Alamela Tamabamumu. He's big nose tackle from University of Washington. I really wanted a guy bad. Every time we were coming up in the third round, fourth round, I was like, please, please, please. And they never got him. And Pittsburgh ended up with him, of course. Then they got the exciting Chris Rainey from Florida. St. Louis Rams. Now, the Rams, NFL Network says the Cowboys fleeced the Rams. Well, we did. We should have. If in video or I said on Facebook one, I didn't want to spend too much to move up to like 2, 3, or 4 to try to get Claiborne. But we only ended up giving up a second. That was I still couldn't believe that's all we gave up to move up in the draft was just a second. I was like, whoa, because usually you should give a second and a fourth, or a second and a third, or a second and a player, or something like that, not just a second to move up that many spots. So I was like, whoa, what a freaking deal. However, the Rams were not the Rams did not want Claiborne. The Bucks didn't want Claiborne. I think the reason why, this is only my opinion, I think it has to do with the Wonderlic, and not as much as the score. Let me explain. To me, the Wonderlic score of Claiborne, it doesn't bother me that much at all. It bothers me a little bit because I am of the it takes the head, intellectual school. I'm from that breed. So from one standpoint, yes, it does bother me to an extent, but I'm really not worried about it at all. I think he'll be able to play Rob Ryan's defense easily and man up to anybody. I'm not worried about that. The only thing that really bothers me is the fact that he blew it off. And when he made the statement, said, I blew it off because there wasn't any football questions there. Not a good answer. Not a good answer at all. I mean, an absolute terrible answer. You know what I'm saying? And then it's the same as people smoking weed right before they go to the combine or getting fat before the combine. These are bad, or the DUI. These are bad decisions at the wrong time. When you're about to go into the draft, you do everything. You don't say, oh, I'm not doing that because it is. No. You do it all. It means nothing. The combine means nothing. The Wonderlic means nothing, but then in turn it means everything because they're watching so many things around what you're actually doing, what you're actually scoring, or what you're actually running on the field. They're looking at the human being, and I think that they didn't like that too much, and I don't think I would have either. But they were going to get Michael Brockers there at the sixth pick, so they ended up dropping all the way down to 14. Still getting Brockers. Then they got Brian Quick. I don't know much about him, but he looks like he's got a tremendous skill set. Then Janoris Jenkins. Let me take a second on Janoris. Other people say that he could be the best cover corner in the draft. So look at the Rams and look at us. The Rams, they got the number. It was either us or them. They got the number one corner in free agency, and then it was to be either us and him. Got the best corner because I'm gonna keep an eye on Janoris. They got the best corner in the draft. So the Rams did good. Then they also went and got another corner, Tremaine Johnson from Montana, who's also very good. So Rams did very good in that secondary. Then they got a running back, Isaiah P, that's supposed to be dynamic. I can't wait to see him in action with Steven Jackson and Chris Givens. The Bengals also had a good draft. Drake Kirkpatrick, they got a big guard there in the first. They got Devon Steele at 53. Wow. Wide receiver Muhammad Sanu. Thank God, finally. Brandon Thompson from Clemson. And then the tight end Orson Wells, the one who got busted for DUI, but could have been maybe the first or second tight end taken in the draft because he's that good. The Eagles, Fletcher Cox, Michael Kendricks, Vinnie Curry. I'm not going to take much time on those because they're gonna give it. All three of those guys are gonna give us problems. Trust me. Honorable mention goes to the Giants. David Wilson, very good pick at running back. I was hoping you got Lamar Miller because there's a downside of Lamar Miller. Not much downside to David Wilson. Ruben Randall, also very good pick by them. Panthers, honorable mention. Luke Kuechly, their linebacking core is going to be sickening in Carolina. You sleep on their defense. They were hurt last year. Don't sleep on their defense in Carolina. Then they got a big guard and also Joe Adams, one person I kind of wondered from the Cowboys from Arkansas, very, very fast guy. Packers, Nick Perry and Gerald Worthy at 51. Wow. The Vikings duped the Browns and got Khalil. I mean, that was awesome. And Harrison Smith later on in the first at safety. Then they got the fastest player in the draft and Josh Robinson. So the Vikings helped themselves out a lot. Also, the losers of the draft. Falcons, Julio Jones last year took all the picks. Browns, they did great with Trent, then it went straight south after that, after they got duped. The Saints, thank you, Mr. Goodell. And last was the Raiders. Did they even draft? I don't remember. All right, guys, playing Madden all day. This is going to be the video of the week, and I hope I feel better. Holla at you. Peace.